Well, hey everyone. It's great to see you all tonight. It's a real thrill to have friends from all over the Rotary world joining us tonight for this Canva webinar. I'm Marshall Butler, the Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34. And tonight I'm joined by my team, William Innes, Kelsey Mitchell, Kim Walden, plus a special guest, Barbara Goby from District 6990. And thrilled to have you all here participating. Hope you got a chance to see some of the cool stuff that Zone 34 is doing in our district or in our zone as you guys were waiting for this webinar to get started. With that, I'm going to go ahead and just get right to the heart of the matter and hand it off right over to Kelsey and Barbara. Although I do want a quick shout out. Oh my gosh, I was looking at all the folks that are attending, and I tell you what, we had a tremendous response to this webinar tonight. We've got friends from, I saw someone in Australia who was about to have breakfast. I saw a good friend of mine from Singapore, District Governor-elect Dali. I have friends from Africa, upstate New York, Canada. It's just a thrill to see you all tonight. During this session, all of you that have registered for this webinar, you're going to get an email during the session inviting you to our next webinar. Our next webinar is going to be September 21st, and it's going to be how to prepare your virtual World Polio Day event. And in that webinar, we are going to be pleased to have past Rotary International President John Germ join us. And John is going to tell us why it is so important that we continue to tell the story of what Rotary is doing to eradicate polio. So a quick shout out about that next webinar. If you're registered for this, you're automatically going to get the link in your email during this webinar. All you have to do is click one button and you're registered for the next webinar. It's that easy. We like to make things easy in Zone 34. With that, Barbara, Kelsey, you guys are up. Let me
Thank you, Marshall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Barbara's going to go ahead and share the slides for us, but thank you so much for everybody that's attending. I think it's fantastic that we have people coming from all over the place. So this webinar is being hosted by myself and Barbara. I'll introduce myself and I'll allow Barbara to introduce herself. As Marshall mentioned, I'm one of the Assistant Public Image Coordinators for Zone 34. I'm a member of the Bonita Beach Sunset Rotary Club, and I'm in District 6960.
Hi there, and I'm Barbara Goby. I'm in District 6990, and I am a District Public Image Chair, and I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Fort Lauderdale, Cypress Creek. All right, and can you all see our screen okay? Is everything good? Yes? Okay. All right.
So to get us kicked off, I will tell you, I have been waiting a long time to do a Canva webinar. I absolutely love Canva. It is one of my favorite tools. My team will tell you I probably talk about it way more than I should, but I absolutely love it. I'm very excited. One of my favorite things about Canva is that you can literally design anything. Anything you could think of, you can design in Canva. So there's a lot of benefits to using Canva. There is a free platform, and then there is a paid platform. It's not super expensive, but the free platform gives you just as much capabilities. You have the ability to design things, and you can add team members. So sharing designs with teams, and you can view and edit and create templates. And then you can comment and you can save things throughout using these team structures, and all of this is done through the free platform, which I think is great. You can use items to print for your club. So let's say you have a big event and you want to create an invitation. You can actually print all those things directly from Canva as well. And my kids would tell you it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's a phrase that we like to use, but that is what we use through Canva. It is instantly making you a graphic designer at your fingertips. So understanding
it's just that it's fast forwarding quicker than I planned. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. So easy peasy lemon squeezy is, like I said, something that my kids like to say, but some of the really cool things that I think are not as easily known in Canva that you can make is you can create presentations, just like this one. You can save it as a PowerPoint. You can save it as a PDF. You can create concept maps. So I've actually created an organizational chart for my company before. You can create tickets. You can create videos. You can literally even create t-shirts, which I think is pretty amazing.
I have a delay when I advance the slide.
That's okay.
There we go.
So understanding what's next is that we as Rotarians also have to be brand ambassadors for the Rotary brand. Like this says, it really is more than a logo. It's much bigger than its wheel. It's how people think about us. It's what they perceive us to be. And part of our job as a brand ambassador is to make sure that we are promoting the public image of Rotary, and that also we're preserving that Rotary logo. How you can do that, you can look through the brand center, but you can also use the visual identity and the visual branding guides. So this is the way to get to that, but this gives you all of the logos that you can use. It tells you all of the colors that are a part of our brand, the initial Rotary logo brand, but then also the theme colors. And it gives you all of the different fonts and everything to use. So it makes it super, super easy. You can load these things depending on the type of account that you have with Canva. You can load all these logos into it and create a brand kit. And that's actually something that you can set up with a pro account. A free account, you can create the colors. So you can take the colors and use a color palette. So this is the brand kit that I just mentioned. This is what it will look like if you were to set up in the pro account, if you were to set up a brand kit. It has, like I said, logos, colors, fonts, all of those are different options following the brand standards and guidelines. And then you can use multiple saved colored palettes. So if you have one for the regular account or regular logos, and then you can also have one for the theme as well.
All right, so let's talk about what the different things are that you can do with Canva. And they do have some really great tutorials and tons of videos. They have events that you can attend. You can learn about more than just designing a graphic. So you can really learn about the concepts of design. There is a great tutorial called Getting Started with Canva that I'd recommend if you're new to using it. And then there's also a course called Graphic Design Basics that is pretty cool. And there's even a social media mastery course inside of the Canva Design School. So they have tons of resources for you. And this is all part of the free account as well. So you can take any one of these classes and get some ideas about how to do some different design aspects. And then one thing that I love about Canva is that you can discover things to design. So for example, here I just typed in the search volunteer, because if I typed in Rotary, they're not going to have a lot of things here on Rotary. But I typed in volunteer just to start getting some ideas for things that I could design. And I found a flyer that looks like this. And you wouldn't think that this is a Rotary flyer because, I mean, it doesn't speak Rotary to me at all. But once I just changed the colors and changed the fonts, suddenly that became a Rotary flyer. And this took me all of about 5 minutes to design. All I did was change the colors to the Rotary branded colors. The hand that you see here, I duplicated the hand and made another one so that I could add more of the brand colors, and I put in the Rotary logo. Like Kelsey said, easy peasy lemon squeezy. This was really simple. So you think outside the box of what you could design with Rotary, because the opportunities are endless. And then another thing we can do too is I'm going to show you how you can take one picture and create 4 different types of graphics with this. So if you go in the Rotary Brand Center, you can download approved photos by Rotary. They've got a ton of them in there, from everything from polio immunizations to water projects, Rotaract. There's lots of different pictures in there. So I just took this one picture and then I just added text on top of it and the Rotary logo. Bam, done. And these are the Rotary approved fonts that are already in the free version of Canva. So you can use the Rotary on brand fonts, and I uploaded the Rotary logo. Then I added an overlay. So all I did was take a square and put it on top of the image, and I reduced transparency. So now you can see it kind of has a different look to it, and words pop. Again, this took me no time at all. It was really, really simple. Another variation of this is I added a box around the text. So if you're doing a social media graphic or a flyer or something, adding that simple thin box around it really helps make those words stand out. So some of the important things. This was another variation, and these are also Rotary colors. I literally just took 3 squares and I just turned each one and made each one a different, again, just to make this pop. So I always talk about thinking about the white space on an image, which is where can I put text? So on this image here, there's a lot of space right here that we could put text. But I didn't want to cover the computer because then you're wondering what these people are pointing at. So I really just focused on this corner, and that's where I put this text here. And then another variation of this same image is I took this photo and I was able to turn down the saturation all the way. So I turned it into a black and white photo and then turned the text gold. So that kind of made a little bit more of a dramatic image. So really to create, these are all things that you can do in Canva. I am not a graphic artist at all. So I love that Canva has these types of tools that makes my things look really professional and on brand.
Hey, Barbara?
Yes.
We just have a question. I wanted to go ahead and capture it right now because it's a pretty relevant time. Someone was asking, what fonts are you using here, in case anybody wants to take notes? And please remember, we'll be taking notes and sending all these out later. But what font are you using here, Barbara?
Yes. So this one at the top where it says Rotarians are is called Open Sans. And the one that says People of Action is called Permanent Marker. And these are the Rotary approved fonts for the People of Action campaign. So good question.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and if we have time at the end, I'll log in and do a demonstration of how we create these graphics just so I can give you a little behind the scenes to do it. I just want to make sure we have time to get through everything. Okay. So I want to show you too how you can then create templates and you can share these with your members. So I took this one graphic that I did and all I did here was I changed the backgrounds. I didn't change anything else. I just popped in a different Rotary picture and then a different Rotary picture. So again, I made all 3 of these graphics in about 30 seconds because it was that easy just to change the picture. But you could create a whole series of these and do what I like to call batch work, where you create, 10 or 20 images that you can use throughout the month. I do this a lot too with our graphics for our speakers. So all I do is maybe pop out their name and boom, we've got a speaker promo ready to go. Okay. Canva does have a mobile app also. Kelsey, do you want to talk about the mobile app? I know you like that.
I do. I love the mobile app. I will say I'm a big fan of doing everything on my phone. Anybody that knows me knows that I use my phone for pretty much everything. And the Canva mobile app is pretty cool. It's very easy to use. I will say if you're into the very small details of your project, it's definitely easier to use a desktop. However, you can certainly start and create easy like Facebook graphics or anything you want on your mobile app. The thing I will tell you I use it for the most is once I've done a design and I want to text it to somebody or if I want to post it on social media, I'll download that image so that I have it on my phone. And it's really easy to use. I don't know if you can see, but you can create stuff. It goes through. It looks just basically the same as it does on your screen. It's just in a smaller version.
Yeah, and I love the thing about the app is that anything you're designing on the desktop is automatically in the app, so you can use them interchangeably. That's a cool feature.
The content planner. So this is something that is part of the pro version, but it's definitely worth noting. The content planner is something that you can use with your team or your club to make sure that you guys have a plan of what you would like to do for content in terms of your social media. You can put events and things in here. You can choose specific layouts and designs. The important part of this is making sure you're collaborating with your team, so you can use this to collaborate with your public image team. And then understanding what content to include. You definitely want to include things like World Polio Day, stuff like that that you can create content around and share. But it just gives you an organized plan and structure. That way you guys have something set that you can go back to, because sometimes it is a very daunting task to create an entire year's worth of content, and it gets overwhelming. So if you plan ahead, you can do something, for 1 month maybe, or 2 months at a time. If you plan ahead, it makes it certainly a lot easier for you, the Rotarian/volunteer. I'm sure you have a day job, so creating this in your spare time is definitely going to be easier for you. And understanding too, it helps you understand a holistic view of what you want to put out to, your community. It gives you a better understanding of it. And that ties right into August. August task for the public image citation is the content planner. So you can use this QR code if you have your phone, go like you're taking a picture of it and scan that QR code, and that will give you the ability to open up a screen which tells you where to log your content calendar. You can also go to the website at rotaryshares.org/August 2020.
And for our international and global audience, this is specific to Zone 34. Every month, our public image chairs have a task that they perform towards a public image citation in April. And so for the month of August, they're putting together a public image content calendar. So this is specific to those in Zone 34. But thank you for that shout out, Kelsey. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I wanted to show you a few different content ideas of things that you can design with Canva. So as I showed you before, you can do some social media posts and graphics, like your banner image for your Facebook page. You can design brochures, templates in there, flyers, and we even do our district newsletter in Canva. And if there's time, I can go in and show you how I design some of these things.
If you want to go ahead, let's go ahead and do one of those demos now.
Okay. All right, so let me go over to Canva. So what I've done here is I'll go home and I'll start from the very beginning. Oh, wait, you can't see what I'm doing. Let me show you my screen. Okay. There we go.
While you're sharing your screen, somebody asked what Rotary Shares was. They said they haven't heard of it before. Rotary Shares is a hashtag that we created, but it's also a website and resource that we created for the public image chairs in our zone. With that said, certainly it's a resource for anybody to use, but definitely use the hashtag Rotary Shares.
Okay. All right, can you see my Canva screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so when you log into Canva, it'll show you like all these different recommended items that you can design, and they already have the dimensions are already in here. So if I were going to design, say, a Facebook post, for example, I could click on this, and there's tons of templates that you can choose from. But I'll also show you how to design one from scratch. So sorry, my computer's a little slow with the screen share. All right, so if when it opens up, you'll see that there's tons and tons of different templates that I can just take, and I can just pop out a picture, and I can make it Rotary, branding. But I'm going to start from scratch, and I'll just upload a photo here. So I'll show you like the picture that I had, and I'm just going to click and drag this over. I can upload more images here, and I'm going to upload our Rotary logo too.
So this is one of the design features that's different from a free subscription. So the way Barbara's doing it right now is in the free subscription. So she does not have that branding kit, but you can just upload the images and then it's always there. So this is the free subscription that she's looking at.
Yeah, because on the paid version, you can have all the logos in a folder called logos, but on the free one, you can just upload it as an image. So I just uploaded the Rotary logo, and I'll just click, and it drags it in here. And then I can even make it a little bit smaller. And if I drag it over, you'll see when it gets to the center, I get this pink line. And then I'll just add some text. I'll come over here on the left and click text. And I'll add a heading. Rotarians are not Rotaries. And so put the text in here, and now I want to make it the Rotary font. So if I come up here at the top, it says Open Sans Extra, but the Rotary font is Open Sans. And then I can change the color if I want. So you see I pulled in the brand colors. So I can make it the blue, or I can keep it white. Okay. Then I'm going to add another piece of text because I want this to be the other font. So I'm going to add another one and say People of Action. And you can use this for, again, your upcoming fundraisers, speakers. There's so much you can do to promote on here. And
one of the things that, Barbara's doing as she's changing those fonts, I will say the permanent marker font is part of the People of Action campaign. So keep that in mind when you're using it. It is a little bit different than the branding kit. It is part of the People of Action campaign. Barbara, can you show us the color palette one more time? I know you did it to make it white,
yes.
But you can use that color palette again. Show us that.
Yeah, so on the free account, you can only upload 3 colors. So these are the 3 main Rotary colors, the gold, the lighter navy, and then the darker navy. But they do have the other new colors as well. You can put 3 in here. Now, I can always make this a different color if I wanted to make it, red, for example. I can just, click and drag it anywhere. But if I wanted it to be on brands, then I would just choose from my brand kit that I have here.
And if you can see where she pulls it up, it has the hashtag symbol and then a bunch of letters. If you go to the branding kit or the branding guide from Rotary.org in the brand center, they will actually have that in those brand standards. So you can just copy and paste that in there. It's not something you have to remember or know. You just copy and paste it in there and the color will automatically populate.
And then what's great too is once you save this as a template, all those other colors stay in here. So you don't have to keep looking up with what this code is. It's called the hex code. You don't have to keep looking that up. But I was able to put in these 3 colors that are part of our brands. Mm-hmm. All right. And then I'll show you some of the other design things that I did. So I had then the one with the blue transparency over it. I came over here to Elements, and this has a ton of different little stickers or icons or graphics that you can add to your piece. I just took this square here and I dragged this over, and I'll cover the whole thing with this.
While she's doing that, someone asked a question about Teams. You can have up to 3,000 members on each free team, including yourself, and you can assign an administrator and member role to your team, and you can create up to 20 free teams. Now, the Canva Pro account kind of goes crazy from there, but that's definitely a lot that you can have just on that free account.
Yep. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, you notice I lost the logo. It's because it's behind this. I built this now in layers. So if I come up here to position, I can send this backward one layer, and there's the Rotary logo. And I want that picture to come through, so I'll come here to transparency, and I'm just going to reduce that. And there we go. Then another thing I can do is to create templates. If I come up here, I can copy this. So I duplicated the page. So now I have, there's my first one, and here's my second one. So I can change the color of this one, say to the navy. So you see how simple it is. Just, it's literally just click and drag and copy and paste everything.
And one of the great things about this is that you can actually leave little notes for your team members. So if you guys are collaborating on something together, you can leave a little note on this that says, hey, do you like this better in blue, or do you like this better in gold? Let me know what you think. And it's a great way to kind of communicate back and forth inside your design. Somebody asked a question about creating a slideshow in Canva. I believe you can through the video feature. I don't know exactly what kind of slideshow you're referring to, but through the video feature, I believe you can create something similar to that.
Yes. And yes, you can animate these as well. I'm not sure, can you do the animation on the free account?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so here, I'll show you how to animate this. I'll go back into this design.
And they do have templates, absolutely, for slide decks. Somebody was just asking that. And then the great thing is that you can actually save it as a PowerPoint. I do this all the time because everybody always says, hey, can you send me your PowerPoint? And I'm like, I'll send you my Canva. But it's great because I actually can just download it with this click of a button. You can download it as a PowerPoint presentation. So it makes it easy to share and easy for other people as well.
And we use that feature all the time where we create slide decks as part of the Zoom team, and we'll put a QR code at the very beginning of the deck for folks that are participating, so they can go back and access a view-only version of that deck on Canva and follow along. So Canva is absolutely amazing for putting together slide decks and slide presentations.
Somebody asked, how much should you pay for using Canva? I will tell you, I have had a free version for years and I've loved it. I've only had a paid version for a short period of time. So I think it just kind of depends. And correct me if I'm wrong, the paid version is like $10.99 a month or something like that.
It's $10. Right. Yeah, it's $10 a month. I mean, a lot of clubs pay a lot less than that for other tools. And this one has so much functionality. And someone just asked about the brand kit. If you pay that $10, you can go ahead and add all of the Rotary logos, pre-populate all of the Rotary colors. I mean, just the brand kit is a big part to make sure that you're ensuring consistency. So it's a great investment for $10 a month for your club.
Yeah, and if you're, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay, go ahead.
And we have a slide on this too. If your club has a 501c3, Canva does give it to you for free. So we have some information on that coming up too.
And someone asked a question about having a separate Canva account for Rotary and for your business. Certainly if you're doing the free accounts, that would be a great idea, especially knowing that you can only have 3 colors in the free color palette. But I will tell you also, when you sign up for a pro account, it actually creates another account as well for you. I'm not quite sure why, but like I personally actually have 3 free accounts, and then I have 1 pro account. And it's just kind of, I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's something that they've done. But one workaround I will say that I've done, if I want to create something but use my pro images or some of my pro features, I can share the content with myself. and then I can open it in that other account. That is a workaround that we've had to use in the past. No, there's no watermark version for anything or anything that's done in your free account. I know some apps will have like a little logo of theirs at the bottom. Canva does not do that. It only does that when you have a pro graphic, and you do have the ability, if you want just one particular graphic, you could purchase that, but there's so many free graphics to use. You really don't need a pro version unless you're going to be doing multiple things and you want, more graphics. I will say a big benefit to the pro account as well is the resizing feature. There's a button up at the top left-hand corner that says resize. Thank you, Barbara. This is something that I think is actually really a nice feature from the pro account, because if you've created an image for Facebook and then you say, oh my gosh, I wanted to post this on Instagram, you can just click resize. If you don't, then you have to either start over, start your graphic over, but it's pretty easy to do. So starting over is not necessarily that bad, but this is definitely one of the perks of a pro account.
Yeah, you literally click a button and then boom, boom, boom. It made all the different sizes for you. And it's
like I said, it's free. For 30 days, you can use a free trial of the pro account.
Yeah. And Kelsey mentioned too about photos. So you could import photos of your members or from the Rotary Brand Center. But if you come over here to the photo section, they do have thousands of photos in here that you can use. So I could type in like volunteer, and some of these pictures are free. Some of them, if you don't have the pro account, they're $1. And you can tell if it's a pro picture because it has this little crown on it. But you could even just take something like this and bam, look how quickly I just made that graphic just by dragging in a different photo. So they have tons of pictures that you can use. And then Kelsey also mentioned the animate feature. So there's lots of different free options to make this into like a 5-second video. And it kind of just helps it stand out a little bit in the, in the clutter of social media, is when you have some movement and some life to your image. So you can just then download this. It downloads it as an MP4. And then you would just upload it that way. Does anyone have any questions or anything else they'd like to see me try to design, or do you want me to go back over to the presentation?
Show us, if you go into the template, show us some of the other options in terms of what things on the main homepage, what things they can create.
Okay, so let me go home. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. And this is where you find ideas and inspiration. Like Kelsey mentioned, there's a presentation here, which is like the PowerPoint that we have. You can create some videos as well. So they do have video clips you can download. It's really endless. Like if I came in here for flyers, if I was going to have a fundraiser for my club, I can look at all the different examples that they have, the templates, and you can just modify a template. You don't always have to start from scratch. So let's see if we can find one here. Like,
and while you're doing that, while you're kind of getting to that page, we have a quick poll that we'd like for you guys to fill out. So you're going to see something pop up on screen. If you can answer the question from that poll, that would be greatly appreciated on what you know about Canva prior to this session.
So here I can take this and change it out.
So there's 2 requests for demos. One of them is if you can show us in the PowerPoint how to do a presentation and then save it as a PowerPoint. And then the second one, go ahead that one first and I'll grab the second one after.
Okay, so PowerPoint presentation. So see how quickly I could just change any flyer and make it Rotary. So on the presentations, I knew I saw it here. Here we go. So again, there's lots of templates in here. And the way that Kelsey and I are presenting right now, we're presenting right from Canva. So you could always design your PowerPoint and then present from in here. But I'll just like click one here. So let's say we set up this template and we start designing this. You can click this down arrow to download it. And it downloads as a, you can download it as a JPEG and then import that into PowerPoint and the individual graphics. Or again, you can present right from Canva. If you're
when you have the Pro version, it'll actually make it a PowerPoint. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So it looks like, based on our poll, that some of you have used Canva before, which I think is great. And then a lot of you have never heard of it. So I'm glad to know that you guys are learning something new and, you know, understanding some new free tools that you can use. The second is somebody had asked, Barbara, if you could show us how to insert a box around text, how to draw the box around the text.
Okay, so let me go back to our design. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to go back over to my elements because this is where all my shapes are. And I'll go to the shape and I want to find like an empty square. So this is a solid square. So let me find like an empty square like this. And it makes it kind of fat, and I like to have my lines really thin, so I shrink it down because that makes it thinner. And then I just drag it out like this. And then I would center it. I echo. There we go, and I change the color. And that's it. It's easy peasy.
Awesome. So when you, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So when you are downloading an image, is there a way to increase the resolution of a PNG or JPEG at download?
Yeah, so when I download it, I can download it as the PNG, and then you can change the size here. Oh, that must be a pro feature. But the PNG resolution is really good compared to the JPEG, but yes, you can change the size on the Pro, but the resolution's pretty good on the PNG. JPEG isn't as great when you're using it on the web, on like a website. It's good in social media, but the JPEG resolution is a little grainy on the website.
And for sending it to a printer, I think printable PDF is always an option too.
Yes, you can. You can do the high quality PDF, which saves it as a really big file, versus standard. If you wanted to upload PDF website, you would the standard because it's a smaller file. But if you're going to print it, and when you print it too, you can also put the crop marks and bleed, which some printers may require from you. So that tells them basically where the edges of the image are.
And someone asked if you can post directly to Facebook and Instagram from this app.
Why, yes, you can. What a great question. So here you see to Facebook. You would connect your Facebook page to it, and then it does publish straight from there. I think if you're going to, I don't think you can publish to Instagram from Canva, but you can publish to Pinterest with Canva on the Pro account. But if you're just publishing to Facebook, you can.
Yeah, you can't publish directly to Instagram, but you can create the Instagram graphic and then upload it using your phone or something like that.
Is there a way to create a newsletter that you can use through either Club Runner or DACDB to send out?
Yes, so they do have some beautiful newsletter templates in here. We've done our district newsletter in Canva. And then what you would do is attach it as a PDF in your DACDB or Club Runner, or you could save them, like instead of publishing them as PDFs, you could publish them as a JPEG, and it would save all the pages of the newsletter, and then you would just insert those images into the email. The only thing is it might be a little bit small if people are reading it on their phone if you're inserting images. But you can always send it as an attachment too. And I'll show you some of the newsletter templates.
Robin asked if you can create this on your computer and update it from your phone. Absolutely, you can. That's the great thing about the mobile app and the website platform. They do talk to each other. Everything is identical in terms of your creations and what you've done for content. Like I said before, it is a little bit more difficult to, maneuver some items on your mobile app. Just if you've got large fingers, I guess, sometimes it makes it more difficult. But it's really easy to use, especially for graphics that don't have a ton of little small pieces. But you can go back and forth, and it saves everything pretty much instantly. You can see right next to where it says resize on the top left-hand corner of her screen, it says all changes saved. Easy for me to say, all changes saved. And then it'll save your progress as you go through. So it's pretty easy and it updates really quickly.
And this is why I love these webinars, is because Sherry from Grand Island, New York, just shared that if anyone wants an app to post to Instagram from their PC, she uses an app called Widowed. I'd never heard of that before, but that's really cool. So great tip. Thank you, Sherry. If anyone tells you they know everything about social media or graphic design or anything like that, you tell them they're not following the 4-way test. All right?
Right.
It's true.
And also, you can publish to Instagram from your Facebook desktop in the Creator Studio, and there is a Creator Studio now, so you can publish from that, and you can schedule your Instagram posts. Side note.
Angela asked a question that I'm not sure if I know the answer to. Maybe you know, Barbara, but the PDF files are really large, especially if you're doing a newsletter. Is there any way to make the files smaller without compromising anything within your document?
To make the PDF smaller, you would have to print it as the standard, and it's still a good quality. For you to print out on your home printer, if you're going to send something to a professional printer, like a business card or a brochure, you would want the print quality. But the PDF standards, the smaller size, it's still good quality. All right. Any other questions? Nope. All right. What I'll do is I'll hop back over to our Canva webinar. And this is what we were talking about too. If your club has a 501c3, you can get the Canva Pro for nonprofits. And just go to canva.com/Canva-for-nonprofits. And there's just like a couple requirements. It's not really, a lot of requirements, but if you do have a 501c3, then you can get it. And that's for US. I think it's different for other countries, but they do list, if you go to this page, they list the requirements for every country. And,
So we would like you guys to share your ideas. So we're asking you to share some of your content that you create with us. While we're doing this, I'm going to ask you to do the second poll. We have another poll. We want to know what you guys have learned from some of these things that we've talked about. So while you're doing that, I will explain this content. Contest. We really want to see your ideas. We want there to be a a good amount of collaboration that we foster from our different districts that we have in our zone and even outside of our zone. And so we would like from now until Labor Day, which is September 7th, we would like for you to share your Canva designs with us. It can be any kind of content that you would like, but we want you to share them with us. After that day, we will select a winner for a $25 Amazon gift card. And then please, 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 please continue to share your designs with us even after this contest. The whole point is to give you inspiration so that you can kind of see through others what other people are doing. So how to submit your design, step 1 is you're going to name it contest. And this is a COVID poster I created. It was just a free template. But contest, COVID poster, and then your name, Kelsey Mitchell. And so that's how you're going to name your design. Step 2 is you're going to click the share button. It's going to be at the top, just right next to the download button. And you're going to click share with Z34 public image chairs. And you're going to make sure that people can view. The automatic default option is going to be not shared. So you're going to click can view. And those are the 3 steps for you to submit that. You will be able to get that. It's through the Canva channel for Z34 public image chairs. And I believe, Marshall, if you can share, oh, just kidding. He just put it already. He's quicker than I am. But if you look in the chat box, there is the ability for you to go directly to see our Canva team so that you can join the team so you can see all this content as well. It's rotaryshares.org/Canva. And that way you can join the Canva team.
And looks like overwhelming results from the polls is folks would like us to schedule another Canva webinar and really learned a lot from this. The one person that said you guys are amateurs, I learned nothing. I would love to have you join us on the next one, and we'd be thrilled to include you. Unless that was you, William. I don't know. Was that you?
It wasn't me, no.
Well, I will say I will always be an amateur, especially at things like graphic design. I'm a realtor. I am not a graphic designer by any means. It's just, for me, it's something that I love to use. I think I found it so helpful, not only in my business, but also in things I was doing for Rotary. So it was pretty amazing, just the fact that you can have all of these free tools, you can use them, and it makes it super easy for anybody. So I'm certainly glad to hear that people are going to go ahead and start using it or continue to use it and that they've learned a little bit more. This is an image of our website that we mentioned earlier, Rotary Shares. There's a lot of different things on here that you guys can use as resources. For those of you that have not registered that are in Zone 34 that still need to register for the citation, there is a quick link at the bottom for that, so that you can register for that. We do have a webinar series that we have. The next slide will tell you, exactly what our next webinar is, which I know we've mentioned. And there's certainly a lot of resources. But we really do want to make sure that you attend this next webinar. It's going to be really special. We obviously have someone really special joining us, John Germ, and he's going to tell us a little bit about some of his experiences. But then understanding that creating a World Polio Day event is pretty easy. That's definitely going to be something for you. So at this time, if we have questions, we'd love to answer any questions that you might have. Or if you have something else that you want to see demoed, please make sure to ask, and we'll certainly do that.
Yeah, and just a quick reminder to everyone, we will be sending out an email tomorrow with a link to this recording, so you can go back and watch it again. We'll also include a link to all of our past webinars. That's over at our Vimeo channel, and you can download these also if you want to share them with your club, maybe use them for a club program. We also even have a Roku channel. So if you have a Roku on your television, go to Rotary Zone 34 and you can watch all of our webinars there. But as we wrap up, I want to thank Kelsey and Barbara. Of course, we're going to stay around for questions, but just want to go ahead and make sure that I thank Kelsey and Barbara for putting all the work into this webinar. I think it was very beneficial. Remember, your Zone 34 public image team is always available to speak to your club or your district. We have a bunch of different sessions that we offer, and in the world of virtual meetings, we can be available, although I always like to point out Kelsey doesn't like any breakfast clubs that meet before noon. But any other meetings, we're always happy to be a part of. Really looking forward to that webinar next month with William and Kim and past President John Germ. It's going to be important that we think of ways to do virtual World Polio Days, given the current circumstances, and that's going to be a pretty neat event. But let's go back to the questions. Just wanted to, before we got too far into the questions, Kelsey and Barbara, thank you both for your time tonight. I think this was a very beneficial session for everyone.
Absolutely. Barbara, if you can pull up the presentation one more time, they would like to see the steps on how to enter.
Okay, you wanted to see what with that? You broke up.
The steps on how to enter the contest.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So again, the first step is just changing the name of your content to contest, what your document is, and then your name. The second step is going to be to click the share button, and then you're going to click share with Z34 public image chairs. And the third step is going to be to change the status from not shared to can view. So we can certainly leave this up. A couple people asked a little bit more about, what other webinars and things that we have done. I would encourage you to go on the Rotary Shares website that we have, because we do have all of our past webinars that you can view, and there's links directly to that. We have done webinars on kind of all sorts of topics, everything from social media to videos to smartphone photography. We've done a bunch of hashtags. We've done a bunch of different things. Mm-hmm. And we do webinars monthly, so make sure you'll get them for the next one after joining this. But make sure you pay attention and look at what's coming next, and feel free to share them, with anybody that you think might find them valuable.
And I'm just reading through the questions, see if there's anything else anyone had.
I think a lot of people are making fun of me for not liking breakfast meetings. I will tell you, I actually presented at a breakfast meeting last week, and it was amazing. It was a fantastic meeting, and I really enjoyed it. It was in St. Croix, so I did get up early sometimes, so keep that in mind.
Kelsey, I appreciate you doing that one for me.
Of course, I'm happy to. I do like it. I had somebody that day ask me, they're like, "Were you in St. Croix?" I was like, "No, it's just on Zoom."
Hey, here's a good one from Alan. Alan was asking, I think I got this, but just want to check. Can you upload your own photos into the Canva folder for use at any time? Yes, you can. And that is something you can do with a free version of Canva or a pro version. You can always upload your own photos and graphics.
Yes, and you can save things to different folders in there as well. So if you have, a folder for your newsletters, a folder for your social media graphics, folder for speaker announcements. So you can save all those separately.
And thank you, Sherry, for mentioning some of the Facebook groups. There's definitely a lot of Facebook groups that you can, join that will give you some good content and ideas. One of the ones I'm in is just Canva for Nonprofits. It's a Facebook group. It has nothing to do with Rotary, but I actually find it really helpful. And then there are certainly a lot of ones for Rotary specific.
And, we always point this out, but we always like to remind folks to do a little Rotary R&D, not research and development, but rip off and duplicate. Always give appropriate kudos if you steal something straight up, but follow hashtags on Instagram like Rotary Shares, People of Action. You can be inspired by what clubs are doing around the world. Really can get some great ideas that you can kind of make your own and kind of mash it up and personalize it for your club. So on Instagram, I would recommend finding a couple of really good hashtags and following them and seeing what our peers are doing. Again, no need to reinvent the wheel. let's learn from each other.
Absolutely. I think the learning tool in Canva as well is something that you could do an entire session on, to be honest. I mean, I think Barbara and I, in preparation for this, started diving into it, and we were like, this is its own content in itself. There are so many things that you have access to, all in the free account. I mean, it gives you every single thing. There's classes that you can take on becoming a social media master. I mean, there's so much stuff that you can use. And one thing I found, which was pretty cool, is if you click on the Learn tab and then click on any one of the things, you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen, even more quick links will show up at the bottom. So there's even more templates and things that aren't even listed in their top page. So there's definitely a lot of tools. We could probably do a whole year's worth of webinars just on Canva.
And I'll show where that is, because somehow Kelsey and I stumbled on these like design inspiration kits. I don't even know where to find them, but this is the Learn tab, and you can see you can take these courses on getting started or designing social media. And
Share your
there's just
screen.
so much.
Share that
Oh,
screen,
sorry.
Barbara. You can see that one.
I unscreen and I forget to unshare and I forget to reshare. Okay, so here's the Learn tab, and you can see all these different courses, like the design school. Just tons of courses. You know, here's what I'm presenting, I'm branding, some of the Canva Pro if you want to check that out. And they do have webinars and events as well. So there's good stuff.
But if you look at the very bottom of her screen, that's where, you know, there certainly are some more quick links and things that you can look at that is more than what was at the very top. I mean, you can see in their teaching materials, we stumbled across that when we were looking. But these
this is the one we found, the ideas.
Yeah, these are really cool.
And these are, you know, by theme and then elements inside of it. So like, here's one on fundraising ideas. Oops. So this one on fundraising ideas, and have a ton of different templates, ideas and inspiration. And if you're looking for new fundraisers, here's some good ideas. There's even Zoom backgrounds in here too that you can design. And that's been popular lately.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for attending. We really appreciate it. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any other questions, or if there's anything that we can do, you know, for your districts and your clubs. We'd be happy to help.
Absolutely. That's a great point, Kelsey. One quick reminder also on rotaryshares.org, if you would like to participate and help us with a webinar, there's a form that you can either submit an idea for a webinar or say, hey, I want to help you guys put one of these webinars on. Go there and fill out that form and let us know what you got. We are always looking for new ideas and for folks to join us. So rotaryshares.org and look for learning, and it'll say, I want to help out with the webinar, and fill it out. But with that, again, thank you all for joining us tonight. Look in your email for a registration link to next month's webinar with past President John Germ. And we look forward to seeing you all at a future event. Stay safe, everyone. Take care.